Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we're taking a look at the newly added BF-110 G2 sitting at 3.7 battle rating. This plane has a shit load of options and is a very versatile plane, but it's also limited at the same time. The maximum speed in this plane at sea level is 473 kilometers an hour without WEP and 487 kilometers an hour with WEP. At 4500 meters it is 439 kilometers an hour without WEP and 450 with WEP. And then finally at 6500 meters you can take her to 351 kilometers an hour without WEP and 366 kilometers an hour with WEP. Now that's decent speed for an attacker, for a big plane like this, a two-engined monster as it is. And it's not a slow plane for such a attacker. Definitely not. The top speed in the dive is also seemingly pretty good, with 708 kilometers an hour before it redlines and 765 kilometers an hour before it rips apart. But that of course is not the effective dive speed, unfortunately. The control stiffening in this plane, as you see here, as we are above 600 kilometers an hour, control stiffening is extreme above 600 kilometers an hour. It already starts though at 450 kilometers an hour and it becomes severe at 550. And when you're at speeds in a dive at 600 kilometers an hour, then you're definitely gonna notice that dive speed locking up, and that is definitely a problem for the plane. Look at the tickets. There is a bug at the moment in game that made me not able to find a good, well, what I would consider normally a good match. When the 3 bases are destroyed right now, it is a known bug by the way at the moment, Gaijin knows about it, but when the 3 bases are destroyed, the tickets will start running down, and that makes for some very short and intense matches. But in the beginning I thought, like, what the hell is going on here? I hope this is not a new feature. That would not be a very much appreciated feature now, would it? But yeah, the tickets are running down. We have it's not an engine that is damaged here, it's the oil compartment here on the right engine. And here we go, we just got our gun solution on that target, getting our second kill there. We also had an assist, but the match ended. There was another guy below him. That match could have gone on, we could have gone back to the airfield, repaired and gone back up in the air. Might have been a fantastic match, but we'll never know because of this bug, unfortunately. Anyway, we were talking about the control stiffening, pretty severe, above 550 kilometers an hour, so I would call that the effective dive speed, let's say. Stall speed in the plane is 170 kilometers an hour, which is quite alright. We have excellent firepower on this plane, excellent. You really can take a lot of variations. The most firepowery combination for air battles is 2x 30mm MK108, which are the standard ones with 255 rounds per gun. Then you have the, or sorry, that's half of that. That is 127 rounds per gun. Then you have the MG151 20mm cannons, 2 of them, with 750 rounds total. That is 375 rounds per gun. And then you have the turrets in the back with 2 7.96mm MG81 machine guns with 750 rounds per gun. And in this case I took the extra gun pods, 20mm, 2 of them, MG151s with 100 rounds per gun, giving me 4 20mm and 2 30mm, which is the best for air to air. You can. This match also ended, by the way, again from the sticker short match. We had 2 kills. We could continue the match, but unfortunately it was ended prematurely again. So good firepower in this plane what I took here. You can also take a 37mm gun, which is really a monster gun, with 66 rounds, excellent for ground attacking. You don't get the standard 20mm though when you pick that gun, so be aware of that. You only get the 30mm guns then as an addition to that. Acceleration in this plane in a straight line is good. In a dive it's very good, but not initially. It takes a bit to get onto speed. Energy retention in the horizontal is average to decent. depending on what speed you have. And in the vertical it's decent, climb rate is average, turn time is bad, and you can make it average with flaps. The flaps rip off at about 550 kilometers an hour. You have average roll rate and average maneuverability. And average overall maneuverability. The overheating is present, but it's easily manageable. And the durability though is very good. It can soak a lot of damage. So the plane also becomes a little bit sluggish when it's slow. So you have an ideal window somewhere from 300 to 450, where the plane starts to stiffen up. And this plane is your typical brawler. If you want to use it for ground attack, it's pretty fast when it's the fastest actually when it's on the lower altitudes. The speed does drop off pretty heftily and at the higher altitude, so the plane is best at medium to low altitudes. And if you want to use it as a ground attacker, you've got to keep it as fast as possible, and then you can still do something at its ideal speed. Could be good for you. There we go. Take a P61 out, but very nice. We do get damage though again, but you can get home on one engine in this plane, and as we do in this match, which is quite nice. The plane really is a support plane, I would say, and a brawler. The plane, it's not a real good boom and zoomer because of the control stiffening. It's not an energy fighter because of the average climb rate and the energy retention in the vertical that is not fantastic. And it's also not a turn fighter because the turn rate really is average. So you cannot put this plane in a real dedicated role, except of course that it can ground attack pretty good with the 37mm, and it is a king in head-ons in this plane, and it can take damage. So a brawler coming in to support your allies from the sides, you know, difficult dogfights, you come in, you take them out. This is an ideal support plane. It really also handles quite nicely for a heavy fighter like this, and it has supreme armament with 4 20s and 2 30mm if you want to have an air setup. So take the 37 for the ground attacking role, but for the rest, this setup for me worked very well. Only we had this bug with the tickets running down when the airfields were destroyed that really limited me in my results, but I still got a good result in this plane. Let's see, we have 2 air kills in this final match. Nothing really special for rewards. 27,000 Silver Lions and 3200 research points. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now this plane is really a brutal plane in head-ons, and as a support plane it is really excellent. You don't want to be the focal point of any dogfight in this plane because you will easily be outmaneuvered by any plane except those planes that come from a dive and you can make overshoot, that have more compression than you do, but you already have early compression in this plane and not the best roll rate and that kind of jazz before that anyway. So it is difficult to get planes to overshoot before you stiffen up, let's say. And but you still can do it sometimes, but they also run away from you pretty quickly before you get your plane under control. Then the plane still does feel pretty good for an attacker, but yeah, you cannot really put it as an excellent plane in any of the roles, the usual roles you would put to a fighter. This plane is an excellent brawler though, and a very good support plane if you want to use it for air-to-air battles. As a ground attacker you can take the 37mm, you can also take bomb loads if you want, but the 37mm has 66 rounds and I think they can net you more rewards than the bomb loads have to offer in this plane. But all in all, it's a very nice plane that will be a very good performer, I think, in the German line, because there's a lot of fighters that can support this plane and which you can feed off of, let's say. Other planes fighting dogfights and stuff like that, and you running through with this massive firepower can be very efficient. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, And if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.